Today was going to be a light review day. I first tested Aries' tolerance to me jumping next to him. When I jumped down from the saddle, I'd prefer he stay standing there and not flee. He didn't seem real impressed. Next, I wanted to move the plastic bag further around his body. Going down his shoulder and front legs goes into an area he can't see very well. But he kept a close eye on that bag. In the list of things that we do every day, I took him to the mounting block. He is going to be so easy to get on when we're done with all of this. He already adjusts himself so that he is in just the right position for me to get on. I decided to give his back muscles a little massaging today. I want him to think, "Oh good, she's getting up there to rub my back." His back is tense due to him keeping his head high for so long. But with proper exercise and training, he will loosen up. Recently, the teeter-totter was fixed. I took Aries over to see what he thought. I was so impressed with his composure. He did startle a little bit when the plank moved, but he didn't panic. So why teach your horse to go over a teeter-totter? As with most odd things we ask our horses to do, they may actually run into a real-world situation where dealing with the moving ground under their feet could be helpful. The coolest part about a teeter-totter is that you can teach the horse to position themselves over the fulcrum, and just by shifting their weight backward and forward, they can rock the teeter-totter. Next, I thought we could just mess around with some of the other objects in the playground, starting by going over logs. This was fun. I wanted to see if Aries would both step over the log as well as stand on it. By changing my body position to the log, I was able to ask for the two different behaviors. When I wanted him to just go over it, I stood aside and asked him to go forward. When I wanted him to stand on it, I stood more in front of him and then asked him to go forward. Most of these exercises are about controlling the feet. Will he go where I ask, no matter what he has to go over? Go over the log going one way, and stand on it when going the other way. Tires are a challenge to navigate. A horse can easily hook their foot in one of the tires, and I don't recommend horses with shoes go through tires. Much easier to catch a hoof. Notice here that Aries has his head lowered so he can see the tires better. I had no idea that today would be the day. So many people asked me, "When are you going to ride him?" I said, it's just going to happen. One day I'm going to be working with him and he's just going to be ready, and I'll have to do it. Today was the day. After a quick warm-up, I took Aries to the mounting block and asked him to step forward and then back. Backing and stopping while between the mounting block and the fence are still skills he needs improvement on. I tacked him up and again did a short warm-up of getting him to yield both ways and lunge. I then asked him to walk while I took a hold of the saddle horn and rocked the saddle. He wasn't sure he should still go forward with me so far back. This lesson will come in handy when he learns to ground drive. It's on our to-do list. Then it was back to the mounting block. It's good to break up each lesson into short little sessions within one training session. This way, the horse has a chance to digest what he is learning. I wanted Aries to get used to all the parts that are involved in mounting: putting my foot in the stirrup, swinging my leg, leaning over the saddle, my feet on the mounting block. I then took him away from the mounting block and tried to put my foot in the stirrup from the ground and jumped up and down. I was surprised he didn't care, given that just the day before, he was unhappy with me jumping next to him. I wanted to be sure that Aries wouldn't freak out when I swung my leg over, so I brought the saddlebags back out. I unloaded them and got him really secure with me throwing them over his back. Once I was satisfied that he was okay with them empty, I refilled them and practiced putting them on and taking them off. I made sure to be extra clumsy with my attempts to remove the saddlebags. The clumsier I can be now, the less likely he will spook in the future. Back to the mounting block. I swung my leg up onto his butt, and he didn't care. It was right around now that I decided there was nothing else to do but get on him. I wanted to give Aries every chance to succeed, so I repeated everything I had been doing, swinging my leg, standing in the stirrup, and laying over him. Then I asked my friend to draw him forward. If he did well, I would throw my leg over the next time. Little practice, on and then off. And here's the first time I really sat on his back, one leg on each side. Since he was doing so well, I asked my friend to back up and ask him forward. I didn't want to be greedy, but I thought he'd be okay. And he was perfect. I had to do both sides, even though I thought he'd be a bit more worried on the right. He was a bit more tense. But when we asked him to go forward, he walked forward a few steps, and rather than chance it, I stopped and dismounted. I'm sure you can imagine I was overjoyed. Just the day before, I said to a friend that I didn't think I'd get on him before New Year's. But sometimes, Mustangs, they just take a leap of faith. I was so incredibly proud of him. I'm still grinning. I also think he was pretty proud of himself. Sometimes the greatest moments of achievement are not grand gestures, but happen quietly and start with just a few steps forward.